Hi, Linda.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good, pretty
It's
good.
always nice to see your familiar face and hear your familiar voice.
Oh, thank you. It's always good to see you guys as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so part of what I wanted to do was just kind of show a little bit more detail, the capabilities of the database that we have on the website. And then kind of show a little bit more um, information about the what we can do. And if you have questions, please feel free to stop me. If you want to see that again, just let me know. Oh, Blaine was having a little bit of a problem, so let me see if I can. Uh, 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 Let me see if maybe that will help. He's having a hard time unmuting. I want to make sure everybody can speak. But if for some reason you can't, you can always message the chat, and I can see that. Um, so one of the things that I wanted to mention, let me go back to the home page, um, is the ability to search. You can search anybody's name that we have that's deceased on the database. So a relative or things like that. Something to keep in mind is that, and I'm sure you probably are all very well aware, is we like certain names like William or Joseph or Alan. There's quite a few of all of those. So you can go to if you know an ancestor has a very common name like Alan or William, um, that you can go to the advanced search function and you can kind of put in more information that will help narrow that down to be able to find that person. So my ancestor, I descend from Alan Taylor, the son of William Taylor. If I were to search Alan Taylor, there's 77 names, um, 77 people with Alan Taylor. And I know just because I've looked at this person's name a lot, that this is my Alan Taylor that I descend from. So if I click on this, it brings up Alan Taylor, where he was born, where he died, his burial information, all of that, as well as his parents and his children, as well as his wives. So this is um, the biggest thing that we were wanting to have is have the database be available for our members. You know, our database is our pride and joy, our master database in particular, because we just have so much information in there. And it's not as useful though if we don't have it be used and if it's not available for you guys to use. The beautiful thing about this is that this can only be changed by our officers. Um, so I'm sure if you're familiar with Family Search, Family Search is beautiful, it's amazing, but anybody can change that. Anybody can edit it. Um, with this solves a part of the problem of what we have, what we call the the simple truth, the things that we know. We have documents, we have sources to these that show this information. Now, we're all human, we all make mistakes, and some of that information may not be correct. So part of what I'm wanting to spearhead is going through these documents, and making sure that we have them be correct. But let me show you a little bit about kind of what the documents look like. So we had I believe she's a member, Arlene, provide us with some documents that she had about her ancestors and family members of her ancestors. So this person, Eliza Taylor, is a descendant, I believe, of Joseph Taylor, the son of William, the one who came out west. Um, and So she had these two documents in particular, or sorry, this document. This is a story, like a life sketch that was done by her. We were able to upload it and then add it to the database, and here is the PDF version of that document that you can then see. And our goal is to put as many of these documents that we have on the database so that way it's available for you guys. Now, if you have information about, let's say, Eliza, for example, um, that you'd like to put in there, if you see something on there that's not correct, you can send this information over to us. We do ask that if you have sources for those documents, that you can send that to either myself or to Nancy, and we can then add those sources in there. But you can put your name, your email, and the description of what you'd like to have or that information that's incorrect. So that way we can then look over those and then get that updated for you. And you can do this to any of these people. Um, Another thing that we are going to start working on is we have so many photos um, of that we may not necessarily know who those people are in those photos, but you guys, thanks to family lore or things like that, may have those information. So we have this most wanted area section that we will start to put in photos that we don't have names attached to those people. And those will go under mystery photos. So that's kind of something that you can help out with. Just take a look every once in a while if you want to. Of these photos, we'll start putting those on probably sometime after the reunion. And then people that we don't have a whole lot of documentation for will probably be going into this elusive people, people who we're not sure how exactly they fit in, and that you guys might have sources for. Um, Before I do move on to the next portion, I did just want to take time for any questions, or we can search up your people and see if you guys have, if you're able to find them. Let me, before I continue, I would like to give you guys access to this database. So I'm going to put in the link, make sure. Okay. I didn't want to send it to the whole group, have people be confused. But go ahead and open that link and see if you guys can get access to this database. Um, there shouldn't be any problems with it, but I always just like to double check.
I'm already logged in and in the database.
Perfect.
Me too.
Awesome. So go ahead and search up an ancestor that you know should be in the database. Um, like I mentioned before, it's got 300,000 people in there. So it is quite a big database. It is a little slow sometimes. Um, but it will show it loading up. So that way you know that it's at least working. Um, but let me know if you guys are able to find an ancestor, and just look over that and make sure that it's all good and correct. And if it isn't, then we know that we can get that corrected.
Louis.
While you guys are doing that, I did wanted to also mention, so if you see in the top, you probably notice a login. Um, we are going to be starting to migrate people's website information, so their credentials, their email, and then we'll be migrating that over to the database's um, login feature. So that way you guys can then create a username. There is some information that is only available, excuse me, if you are logged in. So we do want to be able to make sure that you guys have access. But these are access only to our members. I have certain information that I have access to that you guys don't because I am an admin. So if you do see something in there, um, that is like looks different from your screen, that's just why. But were you guys able to find your ancestor?
Yes, yeah.
Perfect. That's great to see. Okay, and then someone else. Oh, that was someone trying to get into the main session. Okay, perfect. And were you guys, I always like to play around with it a little bit. So you can look at the ancestors, the descendants. I always like to look at the timeline. The timeline's pretty cool. Um, it does only work if you have certain information in there, though. But it kind of gives you like an idea of where this person lived and that type of stuff. The more sources, I feel like the more sources and documents that you have in there, um, kind of shows that a little bit, highlights it a little bit more. Some other features that we do want to include later on. Um, let's see. If we go to places, it has, it shows our where a lot of these people are from. We do have a feature that I'm going to hopefully get started is called a heat map. So we'll actually show you in the United States where these people are that you can then click on. So we can click on, let's pick someone that's not gigantic like Utah. Let's click Kansas. Um, and then it will show all of these different sources of these people, and these are all attached people. So let's click on Crawford, Kansas. Um, mm, 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 mm. Here we go. So these show all of the births in Arcadia, Crawford, Kansas. So all of these people that we have in the database are all associated with this place. And then you can go ahead and click on this, and it will pull up Francis Davenport. I have no idea how this person is related to us. Um, it looks like it is, mm-mm, well, it's Richardsville, Kentucky. So I'm assuming it's related to Joseph Jr. Um, but so it's just a fun way to be able to interact with all of our deceased people. And so that was just something I was really wanting to be able to put for us. Now, something I did want to show you guys um, is a capability that we as admins have that we can give access to certain people to be able to edit certain information. So I can allow you guys to add like photos or things like probably would just start out with photos. But I just want to show you guys how easy it is to add a photo. So I have this is my ancestor, um, Joseph Henry Taylor. And he was born in Loa. He's a descendant of Alan. He's Alan's grandson. I want to add in a photo that I found, if I can remember how to do this. It's been a hot second. Um, mm, 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 mm. I want to add a photo of one of his spouses. Mm, 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 mm. Let's save that. Okay, so I think I have to go in. Save and stay.
There was a tab media.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, on the previous screen.
Let's go back. Um, oh, add media. There it is. Thank you. Okay, so I just downloaded this picture from Family Search. It's a marriage record, and it's a marriage record to one of his spouses, Mary Foose. Um, we can have that change this in there, and then we can put a title of and Henry Elizabeth. And then we can put more information in here. So what I like to put in here is the citation of this document. That way we have that saved in here. Um, so let me go, and I'm just taking this from Family Search, but I have vetted this information already, so I know that it's true. Mm, 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 mm. Joseph Taylor married quite a few people. So I have to go through here and just make sure that it's right. Um, he had an interesting story. He um was found on the side of the road and presumed dead. Um, and had a death certificate signed and everything. And he woke up in the morgue. I guess he was just unconscious. Walked out of the morgue and left his entire family behind. And his wife had no idea. And so he just walked off and decided to go to Oregon and live out his life. So here's where we would put in that source, and then we would also have the owner of the original source. I'm just going to put Family Search because that's where it came from, and the date that it gets added. So I like to put in the date that it gets added to the database. Okay, and then we can save. And if it does contain private information, we can change that so that way it's only private to people who are logged in. But we can also add this person, we can add this to Mary Elizabeth Foos if she's in here, which she should be. So we can search that. Let's see, Mary Elizabeth. Okay, so she's not in the database, which is good. That means, hey, we can get this added in here. So we can make sure that she gets added to that through a slice through Nancy and put in her information, and then we can have that be in there. But now, if we save and exit, and then we go back to Joseph Henry. There, he is born. And now we go to media. We have his marriage record in there now. So it's important to have those sources, but it's always nice to have those documents of those sources, right? So that way you can look at that, make sure it's the right person. Make sure that it's not somebody else or things like that. And like Carol said, she has shoe boxes of pictures of documents of birth certificates, death certificates. Those are awesome to have because they not might not be available in Family Search at this time or Ancestry or wherever you get those documents. Um, and it's so easy to add these in. So part of what we'd like to ask for your guys' help is if you have these documents available and you'd like to send them over or get them added, we can go ahead and do that. Ken, I think I saw you unmute. Did you have something you wanted to add?
Well, Christian, have I given you access to my wiki page with all those Taylor photos?
I believe you did, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's a big project, that's got a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
stuff on there that we would love to be able to sort through and be able to then provide that to and attach them to the people that they are associated with. Um,
So I've got a question
mhm.
now. Only the admins and the members of the board can make these additions?
So we can have when you log in, you can make certain changes. So you can make changes to photos. So you can add in a photo, and then what it does is it goes to the admins to review to make sure that it's correct and that it's associated to the right person, and then it gets approved, and then it will be added to that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And then like for our slice managers, we want to be able to have you guys be able to add in certain things. We can change those privileges accordingly. But
Are
the people who can add in people or edit people's information, those will be restricted to the admins,
good.
which are the officers. Any other questions or anything that you guys would like to
Hmm.
see?
Question, what
Mhm.
is there a preferred format of the media on these photos? Are you taking PDFs, JPEGs, TIFFs, PNG?
I
Does it?
believe I can accept. Let me look at this really quick. It looks like I can accept quite a bit. So we can, I would say, according to my mom, who works with media every day for her work, TIFFs are the best quality. So I would say if you have TIFFs, that would be great. However, it's not required. JPEG or PNG would be acceptable for these type of photos. And then for documents, like life sketches or things like that, PDFs are acceptable as well.
Good.
Anything you guys would like to see or um, search up or anything like that?
Well, I was happy to see when I went to my grandmother's um, page, there was her life sketch that was part of a Taylor talk, I believe. So I was very happy to see that what otherwise would have been just floating around
Mhm.
somewhere now has a home. That's great.
Yes. So that's something, it's still in its infancy, this database, but we would like to eventually link certain people that, like you mentioned, were in Taylor Talks or the Taylor Times, link those people and those articles to that, so that way we can have that available. Like what Carol mentioned about her grandfather being in Civil War, if there's an article that's ever written about that, that we can attach and associate those to that. One thing I did want to mention is just again how you access this database. So if you are currently a member and if you had access to the database before, sorry, if you had access to the website before, it's available through here. But I wanted to kind of go over just how you get to that. Because if you come to the website and you are not logged in, you will not be able to see this because this is only available for our members. And if you don't have access or if you don't remember what your password is or anything like that, please reach out to me. My email is super easy. It's just Christian, the traditional spelling, at taylораssociation.org. Um, and then just email me and then I'll get you access to the website. So if you just go to the regular website, as you see, it doesn't mention the database anywhere. So you do have to log in and be a paid member to be able to access that. Um, so let me just log in. But when you log in, it'll be right there up at the front, Taylor Family Tree slash database. So then you'll be able to see that. Um, So please let me know if you don't have access. to the website because we want to get you access. And then when I'll do that, I'll also give you the login information for um, our database. Um, so we do reference this as TNG because this is the platform that we're using. So if you are talking to Gordon or Nancy and they reference TNG, this is what we're talking about. So it is a little bit different than the website. Um, Something else that I wanted to mention, um, you may have in the past, if you talked to Ron or Gordon or Mark, um, heard them reference a RIN number. A RIN number is I think it stands for registered identification number, but don't quote me on that. But that is associated to one person and one person only. So if you are talking about, because like we mentioned, we have so many Joseph Taylors, um, it's easy to identify them by their RIN number. So they may ask you for a RIN number or they may reference a RIN number. That is right here under person ID. And if you reference that, that is associated to our database. So they can then search that. Or if they say, hey, look at this person on the TNG site, they may reference that. And if we copy and paste this and under search, under ID, it'll bring you right to this person. So that way you don't have to filter through the 350 Joseph Taylors that we have. Um, so that's something to also keep in mind for those. Um,
Christian,
because
is this
mhm.
database in the cloud?
Yeah, so the database is associated to our website.
Mhm.
So I upload it from a JetCon file to our website, and then that is then able to feed that information to TNG to then be able to populate this. So it is available, but it is secured. It took a long time to get it up because it was having to go through those secured. But as I mentioned before, this only shows deceased people. And we've chosen to do that specifically so that private information is um, not on the cloud. Um, so personal identification, personal private information, sometimes referred to as PPI, is not on here. Um, that was something that we did discuss about potentially having the whole database available and then only having living people accessed to our members that are logged in. But we decided to just keep those separate. That way we don't have any issues moving forward. Um, we are adding to this database. Um, so um, we are adding as people do decease, as they do pass away, we are adding them slowly but surely. So for example, these are my great great my great grandmother's sisters. Um, that have passed away. They passed away in 1993. This one in particular. But we do have these available. So this is accurate up to as soon as they passed away. So there's some people, I believe her sister passed away in 2003. Um, yeah, 2003. So we have this information. So it does get updated. I update it quarterly. Um, because we do receive Nancy is very vigilant on obituaries or things like that and adding them to the database. But it does not contain, as you saw, like um, let's it doesn't contain living people's information at all. So I believe that um, Sadie or Joey has children, and their information is not in here.
So if I have a cousin who recently passed, should
Mhm.
I give that information to Nancy?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
and then she will be able to add it to the database. So she sends me obituaries almost daily of people that she finds that she goes through and confirms that they are tailors that are part of our tailors. And then she adds those to the database, including the obituaries and any source documents that she can find. So census records or things like that. She'll go in and add those in there. But if you have somebody that has passed away, you can send that to Nancy as well as any information that you do have, and then she can get that added. And then at the end of the quarter, I'll be uploading any of those new people in there, and it will be available for you guys to see. So you can share these links with, family members if they have questions. Um, you can send those over to them. They will just have access to some information, but not all of it.
Christian, you are amazing. This is such a blessing to the organization. Thank you for your service.
Yeah. I'm always happy. I'm very happy to be a part of it, be such part of such a large organization, and being able to give you guys access to resources, to be able to help your research, um, as well. Um, oh, something just popped up. But do you guys have any other questions or anything that you'd like to see in particular?
I have an item for Blaine. I think he's in our room. Hey, Blaine, are you there? I'll send him an email. Thanks.
Blaine messaged and said he can hear us, but his camera and he can't come off mute. So
Okay.
I know he's there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you do have questions, Blaine, or if you would like to see something specific, please reach out to me. I'm more than happy to be able to do a one-on-one or things like that. If you have questions or if you have issues, please reach out. I can do um I can do Zoom with you so we can set up a Zoom and screen share and then we can kind of go over that. The Taylor Association has access to a premium paid Zoom. That's how we're able to do this for more than 45 minutes or whatever the time limit is now. So we can take as much time as we need. Um, and so we can go over any questions that you have. I'm a little bit familiar with Legacy Family Tree, but Nancy is our resident expert with that.
It's good.
So she can help you with any of those questions as well.
Well,
If you
thank
don't, yeah, if you don't have any questions, feel free to hop back over to the main room and you can chit chat with people and chit chat with our cousins that we have.
you.
Thanks so much, Christian.
Of course. Yeah. Happy to go over this with you guys. And I'm very excited to show you guys um to have this be available and so that way we can share this information and be able to utilize all of the great resources that we have.
Yeah, yeah. I'm so glad the family is willing to share this sort of thing because sometimes you get a little information and people become pretty stingy and they don't want anybody else to know. And I think that's just foolish. So this is a great thing.
Agree. Yeah, I completely agree. It's the information, if we have all of it, why not share as much as we can?
You
So that way
bet.
we're not duplicating work or things like that. So
Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
Okay, away
All
we
right.
go. Thank
Yep.
you.
Oh,
Oh, there you are. Yay, Blaine.
there's Blaine.
Okay.
Hey,
Where
how
have you
about that?
been?
I don't know what I did. I finally clicked on something that worked.
Oh, there you go.
I tried to send a message back to Ken. Hopefully he got it before he walked away.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Kristen, thank you so much. That is phenomenal.
Yeah, it is
And seeing the
amazing.
changes on the website, my boys have said for years that, oh, that's so outdated. And not to
Hmm.
anybody, not to discredit anybody, because that's a lot of hard work, but
hmm
it's amazing to see because technology has changed so much. It
Yeah.
is amazing to see what we can do now versus what we were able to do in years past. And just the look of it is a lot more enticing. So thank you.
Of course. One thing I do just want to quickly plug is on the website we have this What's New tab, and I do try and keep the homepage up to date as well. But if we go to what's new in the organization, this gets updated pretty much anytime that I make any changes. Um, so that way you can see announcements, reunion information, or research projects that we're working on. Our most recent thing that we had was our in-person reunion in St. George. We do have videos and presentations that are available. If you just click here, it will then bring those over. So we were able to go to one of the cemeteries down in New Harmony. Had a tour that was done that was beautiful. And then we also have our video presentations that we have. So if you are never able to make any of these reunions or any of these things, this is where you can find them. They're also available on our YouTube channel. And then also available is our calendar. Um, mm, mm, that shows any meetings that we have. So we have our monthly informal virtual chats. If you click on this, you can then access that Zoom. Um, so you can come in. It's just very casual, very just a chance to just chat with cousins that you may not be able to see a whole lot. And you can invite other cousins that may not be part of the association, if you just want to chat with them and spend some time and introduce them to the association. So those are also available. And then we also have research articles that we're working on and the TFA Death Index, as well as our newsletters and obituaries. So if you are a paid member and you log in, you can access all of our newsletters that are available, and they're the most up-to-date versions that we have. I just need to add in the uh, the most recent ones that we have. But
Awesome.
well, thank you guys for coming. If you want, you can hop back into, if you just click leave room, I believe it plops you back into the main area. But well, let's go ahead and go back over there. I don't have anything else to go over. If you guys don't have any questions, we can pop back to
Okay.
the main room and we can go say goodbye to everybody.
Linda, it's great to see you too.
Yeah, thank you. You as
Again.
well.
All right, I'll see you guys back in the main room.
All right.
Okay.